It's indeed a great pleasure that the Supreme Court of India and the High Courts after independence have contributed a lot for the democracy in India and upholding the rule of law. Once upon a time, there was a time that English courts were following the judgments given by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Courts were following the judgments given by English courts, and now today the time has come that the foreign countries are following the judgments given by the Supreme Court of India. This is indeed a great honor and privilege for all of us in India that the foreigners are following the judgments given by the Supreme Court of India. When I had an occasion to visit Oxford, I was told by them that Indian judgments are very lengthy judgments, though they are like novels, but they contain the history, the present, the future, and they also contain the reasoning in detail, where a common man can also understand that what is the judgment is given. And if you see the working of the Supreme Court of India, the Supreme Court works in the morning 4 o'clock to decide a case of a terrorist relating to his life, and then we decide at morning 4:30 that the death penalty is the appropriate punishment which has to be given in the case of Yaqub Menon. It's the only Supreme Court in the world which can rise in the morning 4:30 and take up the case and decide the case. Which courts in the world takes up this matter as early as morning 4:30 and decide the case of a terrorist? This has been shown by the Supreme Court of India and the High Courts that we believe in the rule of law and we believe in democracy. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, if anything has happened to India after independence, is the Supreme Court of India and the High Courts which have upheld the rule of law and Indian democracy. And therefore, on this occasion, I request all of you to give the standing ovation to the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court who are holding the march ahead of the rule of law. And we are proud that because of this, the democracy continues in India. So I salute you on this occasion for making us feel proud being an Indian. Thank you so much. We are associated with this legal profession. It's a profession of great honor. It's only the profession which is mentioned in the Constitution of India. There is no other profession which has been mentioned in the Constitution of India. So ladies and gentlemen, now having talked much about the Supreme Court and the judges and we being associated with this profession, the question comes is about, are we doing justice to the masses in India and particularly to those who are vulnerable, particularly to those who are weaker section. And there the question comes, whether it is triple talaq, whether it is right to privacy, whether it is uniform civil code, whether it is schooling period after 6 months for the mutual consent divorce, and particularly the case of Arnesh Kumar. There were many multiple cases registered at 498A, and Lordship, we have started a legal aid center in our law college long 7 years back, and we have developed an online app for the legal aid advice to be given to the people who want to take the advice from our center. And Your Lordship, I will be very happy to tell you that more than 600 the litigants, they came to this legal aid center last year and they registered their complaints with us, and we tried to solve it through alternative dispute resolution system by way of negotiation, by way of mediations. And Lordship, you will be very surprised to know that there were many women who were coming forward to our centers and they were asking the advice, and when we asked to them that what is the problem, why are you not going to family courts, why are you not settling the matters in the family courts, they had an answer that if you go to the family court, it is somewhere in the public place, and the public place everybody knows that this lady is coming and having a problem, and once a lady is exposed to a public place, she loses all her dignity and people start saying that this lady must be having some problem and she must be torturing the husband or there must be some problem with her. And therefore she is going for justice and she is more modern. And therefore people, particularly in rural places, they are boycotting such people to come to the courts. And she wanted, those litigants wanted that they should be heard in the closed doors. And they wanted that what kind of the justice could be given to them. And through the Legal Aid Center, Lordship, I could tell you that we have tried to resolve out of 600 as many as 400 cases only through negotiation and arbitration. We know that we have no power to settle it. But when we come to a affidavit, we ask them to give a bond on a stamp paper that they will behave nicely, whether it is a husband, whether it is a father-in-law or mother-in-law, whatever it is. We try to create a fear in their minds and ask them to give something in writing to us, knowing that this particular writing has no value in the court of law. But through these legal aid centers, we try to sensitize them and we try to make them understand that law is very dangerous. I will be just giving one or two examples to you, Lordship, what was happening. There was one gentleman who was an engineer. He married to an engineer and was posted in Dubai, and he was earning as much as 3 lakhs rupees per month. But when he was in Dubai, he called his wife to come to Dubai. Both were educated, both were engineers, but this man has a habit of not having the bath for 7 to 8 days. He was not taking the bath and he was just having the dew on his body, and he was going in the night near to the wife and asking for the sexual intercourse, and the wife was saying that your body is smelling very bad and I cannot live with you. And this gentleman was not having the habit of going for the bath for as many as 7 days. He said that I'm very tired, I cannot do this, and this was the simple problem. And this lady came to us and told that this man is not listening, what should I do, how I should go, I want to live with this person, I'm married to this person, and now he is not ready to change, what we should do. We told that person that if you are doing this, this may amount to domestic violence, it may be a cruelty, and if we file a case against you, your passport may be impounded, you may be asked to come to Indian courts, and then you have to have the Indian lawyers, and particularly then the case will go on for years, you may lose a job. When he heard all this, he changed his mind, and now both have agreed that this gentleman will at least have 2 times a bath in a day, and then he will settle the matters with the wife. Small things. There was a case of another wife when the wife said that my husband is so stingy that he is not spending money on me. He is earning lakhs of rupees, but his habit is that he will never take me to a dinner, he will never take me to cinema theatre. And she gave an example that when the birthday was there, he came with not with a bouquet, but he came only with one single flower. If he is coming only on the birthday with one single flower, if he cannot spend money on me, what's the point of earning? So she said, I want a divorce because he brought only one single flower. So we said that just because one single flower is bought, you want to divorce, and he is otherwise very good, he has no bad habits, no cigarette, no alcohol, no extramarital affair, nothing is there, but then still you want a divorce. Then we have to change the mindset of that particular lady, and we told that particular husband that you have to consider your wife as a human being, respect her more, give her more love, and then through negotiation and arbitration, we could change the mind. So Lordship, there are so many cases which are happening and people are not ready to go to family courts. Maybe they are in the crowded places, there are thousands of litigants in the courts, and there they are not finding privacy, and therefore they don't want to discuss, and they want to say something and the lawyers add something more in their matter, and then the matter becomes more complicated.